And we're here to show support for Gayle Harrell, who I'm sure doesn't need much of an introduction, but suffice it to say that I grew up here in Stewart, and I went to school with several of the Harrell kids, and always found them and the whole family to be, well, just of the highest caliber, and certainly someone that I would be happy to vote for, and appreciate coming to join us today. So, please.
This is a major race that we are in right now. We're facing, of course, taking back a congressional seat that we lost this last cycle. And truly, it's a shame that we lost it. It was an absolute fluke that happened. Only because of the scandal did we lose it. The fact that we lost it, though, really is so important. It was a pivotal seat for the Democrats. They are targeting this seat as their #1 retention seat. So this is going to be a tough race. This is not going to be a slam dunk. It's not going to be easy. We are all going to have to work very hard to take it back. Tim Mahoney already has $1.4 million in the bank. The primary alone is going to be a $1 million race. The general will be 2 or 3 more after that. They have given Mahoney supreme assignments as far as committee assignments go. They're allowing him to carry legislation, which normally freshmen don't get to do. And they're also they're giving him all the publicity. If you'll notice, in the Stewart News, or in the Port St. Lucie News, in the Palm Beach Post, he is on the front page every other day. He is constantly in the news. And it's not just here on the Treasure Coast, it's across the whole district. We can take this back if we have the very best candidate out there who can really get the vote that's necessary. Tim Mahoney does not represent the values of the people of this district. So we can do it if we all work together. And your being here tonight really says that we can do it by coming to this event, by contributing, and going out and getting other people to contribute. We can do this. There's so much to do in Congress that when you look at the congressional ratings, and it is unbelievable how broken the system is. And we have got to do some very basic things. The first thing we need to do is to restore the values that we all grew up on. Restore the values that this country was founded on. That's the #1 thing. Before we talk about change, and Obama and Clinton are all talking about change, let's talk about restoration first. Restoring that basic value. And Tim Mahoney doesn't represent the values of this district. This should be a Republican seat. We can do this if we have the right person. And the system, what I see happening, and being involved as a state legislator, and seeing how we do things here in Florida, and we don't do things perfectly, but I can tell you we do things a whole lot better than we do in D.C. We need to transform this bungling bureaucracy. In Florida, we just put $2 billion. We're having a tough time, but we have $2 billion. We have actually $8 billion in reserve in a bank account that we have in reserve in Florida. When you think of the deficit that the federal government has, when you think of the waste that goes on, when you think of what happened with FEMA and Katrina, when you think of the 800-pound gorilla that's in the room nobody wants to talk about, when you talk about where we're going with Medicare, and I know we have a couple of doctors here, we'll talk about health care policy, and when we talk about the baby boomers about to descend on the Medicare system, if we don't revamp how we're treating patients, how we're assuming personal responsibility, how we're going to really revamp, move the system into the 21st century, we are going to bankrupt the system as we go into it, as baby boomers go into it. So we have a lot of work out there to do. We have a lot of work in taxes. Mahoney voted for the largest tax increase in history. If that thing goes into law, we are going to wind up, you and I and everyone in this room are going to have such huge tax increases that we are going to cut productivity in this country. The economic stimulus package that has been agreed upon, Democrats and Republicans agreeing upon, doesn't go far enough in cutting taxes. I'm a Reagan Republican. I believe on supply-side economics. And when you give people money to spend their own money, they keep their money and they spend it, the economy moves forward.